G'day everyone, my name's Justin Tippett and today I'm going to be talking to you about the myth of digital disruption in contact centres. Firstly, thanks for all your feedback and comments on my last video. I think it was more people were more interested in the fish tank than anything I had to say, so I promise I'll step it up a bit in this video. So, digital disruption, myth or not? Look, I think it is a bit of a myth. I think there's actually a few factors at play where the contact centres are actually becoming busier than ever. And I think the first one you've got to look at is the complexity of the calls going into the contact centre. There is no question that in this day and age it's pretty easy to get some answers from organisations, right? You can go to their website, typically the first port of call, and hopefully you've got some great frequently asked questions pages, etc. there where they can get some answers. Or you've got a chatbot where hopefully, again, large percentages, might be 70-80% of your inquiries can be handled by the chatbot. They get the answer they need and they're gone. Terrific. But for the calls that do come into the contact centre, what we're finding is they're typically a lot more complex because the simple ones have been answered already. And what that's doing is that's impacting the average handle time, how long the agents are spending on the phone with that customer. And it's pretty basic maths. I've spoken about Erlang C before in the free calculator we've got on the website. The longer your talk time is, the more resources you'll need to maintain the same amount of service levels. So if you want to answer 80% of calls in 30 seconds and your average handle time is going up, you're going to need more agents to maintain your 80-30 target. The other factor at play, I think, is just the customer effort. If you think back 10 years ago, if you wanted to actually engage with an organisation, look, it wasn't the easiest process. The easiest back then was probably the call centre, right? You just pick up the phone and call them. But of course you had some other options back then before websites. You'd write a letter and that wasn't exactly the easiest process, and it was time consuming. You'd have to write the letter, you'd have to go and post it. You're then waiting patiently for Australia Post to deliver and the company responds, and look, it could be 2 weeks before you get a response back. Or you could go and see the company in person. Most businesses would have a physical outlet where you could actually go and talk to someone. Fast forward 10 years and of course the physical outlet is becoming less and less. Call centres are still around, you can still call of course, but now we've got all these digital options, right? We can obviously go to the website, but when we're there we can engage in live chat, we can engage with the chat bot, we can send emails, we can use social media with Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, you name it. There's so many options out there today. So if I want to engage with a company, it's never been easier. And look, that's great from a customer perspective. From a business perspective though, you've got to manage that. You've got to manage all those channels and you've got to manage all the interactions. So what we're seeing is because it's so much easier, it's driving more interactions into the business. Hey, that's great. Customers want to learn more about your business or give you feedback. It's not a bad thing. It's just got to be managed, right? And of course, I think there's also a double-edged sword with it, because the better you are at doing that as a business, so if we make the customer effort low and we make the interaction easy, pleasant, fantastic, and they got the answer they want and they move on, then what happens next time they're thinking about something? They go, hey, you know what? That was really easy. I'm going to go and ask again. I'm going to go and ask another 10 questions. And that's driving more traffic as well. The customer effort's hard, geez, that was painful, I had to wait on hold for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, no one got back to me, etc. But the engagement levels are a lot lower. You run the risk of losing the customer as well, but you also run the risk, it's not really a risk of getting less traffic. And if that's what you want, great, but I don't think it's the way to go about it. The third option, and I've already covered two, which is, if you remember, average handle time and customer effort. The third option is your growing customer base. For a lot of businesses, when they do the business case on, let's move to digital, let's introduce chat, or let's introduce bots, etc., it's done at a point in time. And of course, most businesses don't stand still, do they? Ideally, they're growing, right? Your customer base is growing. And if you know that based on your customer base, X amount of percentages will call you at the moment, the chances are as your customer base grows, that percentage will grow with it, which of course means more calls or more traffic or more digital inquiries. It's just going to keep moving. So of course CX is a journey. I think anyone who thinks it's just set and forget, you're sorely mistaken. So there you go, 3 reasons why I think the digital disruptions might be a bit of a myth. As per usual, always look forward to your feedback. It is a really hot topic at the moment, and I think it's just great that we're all talking about it. So look forward to some of your professional comments in the mix as well. Until next time.